Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving into higher education marketing.
Ooh, interesting.
It's a topic that's, well, it's super relevant, especially these days. I mean, whether you're a student yourself, a parent, or even if you're just fascinated by the future of education, this is for you.
Definitely.
We've got a ton of sources to dig into today, from marketing blogs and, salary data. We've even got this fascinating case study about how one university totally rocked their enrollment numbers. Oh, and we're even going to compare WeChat and WhatsApp for reaching students. The whole international student thing.
Right. I mean, higher ed marketing, it's not just about getting those applications anymore. It's like the whole landscape of education is changing, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
So let's start big picture. The state of higher education in 2024. We've got this article, Higher Ed Wrapped 2024 by Emily Denny, and it paints, let's just say it's been a wild year. Like, remember the whole FAFSA debacle?
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a wrench in the works.
It wasn't just a glitch, that botched rollout. It caused so much confusion, so much frustration. Applications dropped. And who knows how many students missed out on financial aid because of it.
It's like, how are you even supposed to apply to college if you can't even figure out the FAFSA?
Seriously. And think about the long-term impact. Students might just give up on college altogether because of these hurdles.
Makes you wonder how universities are adapting, right? Like, are they doing more to help students navigate the application process, reassure families about financial aid?
Definitely things they need to be thinking about. Transparency is key. And communication. Rebuild that trust.
Couldn't agree more. And, the FAFSA issue, it's just the tip of the iceberg. Denny also talks about this enrollment cliff. Fewer high school grads, which means less money for a lot of these institutions.
Ouch.
Closures, program cuts, especially in the humanities, tough times. Denny even quotes this Connecticut state senator who compared universities to, get this, Walmarts.
Whoa, really?
Yeah. His point was that universities shouldn't just be cutting programs based on sales.
Interesting analogy. Harsh, but it does highlight the economic realities, right? I mean, universities are businesses too. They need to survive. But how do you balance that with academic integrity?
Right. It's like walking a tightrope. So how do universities market themselves in this crazy environment? You need to be responsible, but also uphold academic values.
It is a challenge. But on a brighter note, Denny's article also talks about the rise of the credential. Community colleges, shorter programs, they're gaining traction.
So it's not just about that 4-year degree anymore. It's about options, right? Flexibility, affordability, career-focused paths. Students want choices.
Exactly. And that's where marketing comes in. Universities need to adapt their message, appeal to this new kind of student, show them the value of these different paths, connect it to real-world outcomes.
Show me the money, right?
Well, yeah, in a sense. Speaking of which, let's talk about that case study, the one from Advanced Education. They totally smashed their enrollment record.
I was impressed.
Multifaceted digital marketing strategy. Really smart stuff. They used everything. Lat-long display ads, YouTube videos, social media.
Wait, lat-long display ads, those are the ones that, follow you around online?
Yep, that's them. Super targeted. You can really zero in on specific locations.
I knew it. So it's not just about spamming everyone with the same message.
Nope. It's got to be strategic. And they were great at storytelling, too. Engaging visuals, connecting with students emotionally.
And it worked. 900% increase in website traffic.
Phenomenal. It really proves that digital marketing, done right, can be incredibly powerful. And this case study backs up what we saw in those marketing blog roundups, too. Remember that article, How to Market a College by Mano Nodermans?
Yeah, I think so.
He stressed knowing your audience,
Yeah.
personalizing your message, using digital channels effectively.
So it's not just about having a Facebook page. It's about actually using it strategically. Makes sense.
Absolutely. And this leads us to another interesting trend, using messaging apps like WeChat and WhatsApp. Huge for reaching students internationally.
Oh, right. Diana Salazar's article, WeChat versus WhatsApp, opens up a whole new can of worms.
Definitely. Before we get into that, maybe we should take a quick break.
Sounds good. We'll be back in a flash to see how universities are using these platforms to connect with students all over the world. All right, so back to this WeChat versus WhatsApp thing in higher ed marketing.
Yeah, it's kind of wild how these platforms went from just sending quick messages to being major marketing tools.
Right. Like now universities are using them to, give info to students, answer questions, even build relationships. It's a whole new level.
It is. You can really connect with students on a personal level using these apps.
So Diana Salazar's article, she highlighted some key differences between WeChat and WhatsApp. WeChat's the big player in China, but WhatsApp has that global reach. How do universities choose?
Well, think of it this way. WeChat, it's like a whole city buzzing with activity, everything's connected. And then WhatsApp, it's more like a direct line, straight to the point.
Okay, I like that. So WeChat's the obvious choice if you're after students in China.
Definitely. And it's not just messaging. It's social media, payments, even those mini programs. It's practically its own world.
Right. From campus news to applications, it's all right there. Salazar's article mentioned that for a lot of Chinese students and families, WeChat's just part of daily life.
It is. And for universities, being on WeChat shows, they get it. They understand. And they're ready to engage on the students' terms.
It's like, speaking their language, but not just the words, the whole culture, too.
Exactly.
So how are universities actually using WeChat to reach those Chinese students?
All sorts of ways. They've got official accounts to share content, host events, even handle customer service stuff.
Wow.
And then there's Moments ads, kind of like sponsored posts you see on Facebook. You can target them based on demographics, interests, all that. Oh, and the mini programs.
I was wondering about those.
They're like little apps within the app. Think virtual campus tours, submitting applications online, all kinds of stuff.
Almost like a mini website inside WeChat.
Yeah, exactly. Super customizable, very integrated. If a university is really serious about recruiting Chinese students, these mini programs, they're powerful.
All right, so WeChat, that's the powerhouse for China. But what about universities targeting a broader international audience? That's where WhatsApp comes in.
That's right. It might not have all the bells and whistles of WeChat, but for direct, personal communication, it's king.
Billions of users worldwide. You can't beat that reach.
Nope. Think of it as like a virtual handshake, building relationships, making those international students feel welcome.
Yeah, that personal touch can make a big difference, especially when you're choosing a university. It's a huge decision.
It is. And knowing you can easily reach out to someone at the university, it's reassuring. And with WhatsApp, you're talking to students from everywhere, Latin America, Europe, Africa, you name it.
Breaking down those geographical barriers, it's almost like creating this global student community.
Exactly. And it's not just one-on-one either. Group chats are great for connecting prospective students, current students, alumni, even parents.
So they can get a feel for the university even before setting foot on campus.
Exactly.
Okay, so both platforms, they've got their strengths. WeChat for that immersive experience in China, WhatsApp for connecting globally, building those relationships.
You got it. It all boils down to picking the right tool for the job, based on your goals, who you're trying to reach.
And sometimes you might even need both.
Could be.
Now let's circle back to the business side of higher ed marketing. Remember those articles from Coursera staff? The ones about salaries for marketing specialists and market research analysts?
Yeah, those were interesting. They give you an idea of the earning potential if you're thinking about a career in this field.
So for a marketing specialist, Coursera said the average is around $83,190 a year.
Yep, and for market research analysts, a bit lower, averaging around $74,680.
Not bad at all, but I'm guessing it varies a lot depending on your experience, education, maybe even where you live.
Oh, for sure. Location matters. Someone with a master's in marketing working in, say, New York City, they're probably making more than someone with a bachelor's degree in a smaller town.
Makes sense. Experience level too, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about a career in higher ed marketing, it's good to keep those factors in mind. It's not just one number fits all.
What about skills? What kind of skills do you need to succeed in these roles?
Well, both articles mention things like collaboration, being detail-oriented, knowing social media inside and out.
Right.
And, of course, data analysis. You got to be able to crunch those numbers. And communication skills, those are essential.
So it's not just about being creative. You got to be analytical, too.
Absolutely. Universities want people who can understand their audience, create compelling messages, but also track the results, see what's working, what's not.
And as universities are facing more and more pressure to attract students, it's only going to get more competitive.
Definitely. But it's an exciting field. Lots of opportunity for growth.
Now, before we wrap things up, I wanted to touch on those challenges we talked about earlier. The enrollment cliff, tuition costs, all that. How's that impacting the way universities approach their marketing?
Well, with fewer students coming straight from high school, universities are having to get creative. They need to show their value, explain how they can help students succeed in the job market.
So it's not just about promoting the degree itself anymore. It's about the skills you gain, the connections, the whole package.
Exactly. And it's not just about the four-year degree anymore either. Certificates, associate's degrees, professional development programs, those are important too.
Right.
And personalized marketing. is becoming huge. Tailoring the message to different groups of students using data to see what resonates.
Sounds like higher ed marketing's becoming way more
That-
sophisticated.
It is. Universities have to up their game. They need to show students that their education is an investment worth making.
This has been a fascinating look into the world of higher ed marketing. Before we wrap up completely, I'm curious to hear your final thoughts on the future of this field. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been really digging into this whole world of higher education marketing.
It really is a world of its own, isn't it? Constantly changing, adapting.
Yeah, we've seen how universities are dealing with some pretty big challenges. I mean, from that whole FAFSA mess and the enrollment cliff to like the rise of these shorter, more focused programs.
And let's not forget WeChat versus WhatsApp. That was a fun one.
Oh, for sure. But the takeaway for me is that universities are really having to step up their game. They need to be smarter, more creative to connect with students.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
No more one-size-fits-all approach.
exactly. So before we wrap up, I'd love to hear your take on what the future holds for higher ed marketing. Any big trends you're seeing?
Well, it's clear that universities need to be, they need to be flexible, agile even. They got to embrace new technologies, new ways of reaching students.
It's all about meeting those students where they are, right?
Exactly. Understanding their needs, their dreams, even their fears. And you got to connect with them on their terms, on the platforms they're already using, with messages that, actually resonate.
So it's not just about blasting out a message and hoping it sticks.
Nope. It's about building those relationships, creating a sense of belonging, showing that the university is more than just, a place to get a degree.
It's a community, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
A support system,
Yeah.
a launch pad for their future. And that can come through in so many ways. A personalized email, a helpful WhatsApp message, even a cool WeChat mini program, or a story that really connects with them on social media.
It's about being real, being human, genuinely caring about the students.
That's it. In this digital world, that human element, that can't be overlooked.
Couldn't agree more. Well, this has been a truly fascinating conversation. As we wrap up our deep dive, what's one final thought you'd like to leave our listeners with? Something to, ponder as they continue to explore the world of higher education marketing.
How about this? As technology keeps changing the way we learn and connect with each other, what new possibilities will that open up for higher ed marketing? If you think creative strategies, innovative tools, even unexpected partnerships. How will all of that redefine the way universities connect with the next generation of students?
Wow, that's a great question. It's an invitation to really imagine the future of education and the role that marketing plays.
It's an exciting time to be in this field, that's for sure. There's so much potential.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of higher education marketing. And to our listeners, until next time, stay curious.